Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some fascinating stuff today.
Oh, yeah.
The JFK assassination, we're not going to be like rehashing the grassy knoll or
Right.
anything like that. We're going to be looking at some really interesting details that are a little less known.
Okay.
And we're going to be pulling all this from a 2001 issue of Dealey Plaza Echo.
Okay.
It's a British research journal, and it's dedicated to studying the assassination.
Interesting.
So, one of the first things that jumped out at us was the story of this guy, Seth Cantor.
Yeah.
He was a journalist who was covering the assassination.
Right.
And get this, he claimed he ran into Jack Ruby, the guy who shot Oswald,
Wow.
multiple times before the shooting. Like at the hospital, at Parkland Hospital, right after the assassination.
Oh, wow.
And at a press conference late that night. And then, obviously, again, when he shot Oswald.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so there was another woman, Wilma Mae Tice, and she also said she saw Ruby at the hospital.
So there's corroboration.
There's corroboration, but the Warren Commission, they just blew it off.
They did.
They were like, nah, Ruby said he wasn't there, so he wasn't there.
Wow. So they just took his word for it.
Yeah, over two other people.
Even though Cantor was a pretty well-respected journalist, right?
Exactly.
That makes you wonder. Yeah, you really start to think, like, how much of what we know is just based on, like, what they wanted us to know.
Absolutely.
Like,
It seems like they were so focused on Oswald, they may have missed some other things.
totally, totally. And speaking of Oswald, you know there are all these myths about him.
Like what?
Well, like that he was just, like, hanging out, drinking a Coke in the book depository after the shooting.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
But the thing is, the officer and the supervisor who saw him there both said he didn't have anything in his hands.
Really?
Yeah. So that whole Coke thing, totally made up.
Interesting.
Then there's that whole thing about him never using dry cleaners.
Oh, right. They couldn't find the laundry mark on that jacket they found. Yep. But they found out later that he actually did use dry cleaners.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the FBI, they talked to a dry cleaner near his apartment, and he said Oswald had used his services before.
Huh. So why did people say he didn't use dry cleaners then?
It's weird, right? I guess it just kind of fit the image they were trying to create of him.
The loner, the outsider.
Ex-
Fits the lone gunman theory.
Yeah, like they were trying to, I don't know, make him seem more suspicious or something.
Right.
Just like another example of how easily these things can get twisted around, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, now buckle up, because this next one's a doozy.
All right, I'm ready.
The three tramps.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about him.
So, right after the assassination, the cops pull these three guys off a train,
Okay.
and they're dressed kind of, well, not like you'd expect tramps to be dressed.
What do you mean?
Clean-shaven, thick-soled shoes, that sort of thing.
Mm.
And the cops are just super casual with them, which is weird considering, you know, what just happened.
Yeah, that is odd.
And get this. There are no official records of these guys.
No arrest records, nothing.
Nothing. Like, they just vanished.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Right. So Dealey Plaza Echo goes through all these different theories about who they were.
Okay, like what?
Some people think they were connected to the CIA, maybe even E. Howard Hunt or Frank Sturgis.
Wow.
Others say maybe they were hitmen. There are even theories connecting them to Charles Harrelson, Woody Harrelson's dad.
Really?
Yeah, but it's all just speculation. You know, there were some arrest reports that came out years later, but they were full of holes, missing fingerprints, times that didn't add up.
So we still don't know who they were.
Nope, it's total mystery. Were they just in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or were they something more?
It really makes you wonder.
It does, it really does.
And it just goes to show there's still so much we don't know about that day.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's so important to keep looking, to keep asking questions, and to never just accept the easy answers.
I couldn't agree more. And that's what we're going to keep doing as we go deeper into this issue of Dealey Plaza Echo.
All right, lead the way.
Let's do it.
And there's a detail about the tramps, Dealey Plaza Echo points out, that I thought was really interesting.
Okay.
The paper bag
Oh, yeah.
the older tramp was carrying,
Yeah.
they were allowed to keep this bag.
Huh.
Like, they were supposedly vagrants, right?
Right.
But they got to keep their bag.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Like, what was even in it?
Nobody knows.
And why does it matter?
Well, think about it. There was another paper bag
Oh, right.
found in the book depository. The one, you know.
The one Oswald maybe had.
Yeah, exactly.
I never thought about that.
So 2 mystery bags.
Yeah.
And this just adds to the whole Like, were they just random guys?
Or were they part of something?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so then Dealey Plaza Echo brings up Officer Hargis again.
Oh, right.
But this time, it's not about the debris. It's about where he thought the shots came from.
Oh, because everyone always says he was sure they came from the book depository.
Right, he's right there.
Right. But when he talked to the newspaper that day,
Yeah.
he said he didn't, like, actually see where they came from at first.
Interesting.
So he didn't just automatically assume it was the book depository.
Huh. So that's another thing people just kind of...
Just assumed.
Assumed, yeah.
It's kind of scary how much of this stuff we just, like, accept as fact.
Yeah, without really looking into it.
Exactly.
It's why primary sources are so important.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Gotta go back to the original stuff, see what people actually said.
Totally.
Okay, so then they talk about the rifle, the Mannlicher Carcano.
Oh, the murder weapon.
Right, right.
Okay.
And, you know, there's that whole thing about it being, like, set up for a left-handed shooter.
Right, but it wasn't actually.
Yeah, it was just a regular rifle.
The scope was maybe adjusted for someone who was left-eyed.
Right, exactly.
But what I thought was weird...
is that they're making it seem like Oswald would have been, like, fumbling with this rifle.
like he'd be struggling to shoot it.
Yeah, because supposedly it was for a lefty, but he was right-handed.
Right.
And, like, trying to shoot that thing quickly and accurately.
Yeah, that wouldn't be easy.
No way.
So it's like they're trying to make it fit
Yeah.
their story.
Even though it doesn't really make sense.
Mm-hmm. Trying to force those pieces to fit.
Yep.
Even if they don't belong.
Okay, so we've got the mystery bags, we've got Hargis not being sure where the shots came from, and now the rifle might not even be the right rifle.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff going on.
It's a lot.
It is. And it's easy to get sucked into all the, like, conspiracies.
Oh, yeah.
But what Dealey Plaza Echo is really doing, I think, is making us think critically about what we've been told.
It's not about having all the answers.
Right.
No.
It's about asking the right questions.
And, like, the biggest question for me is why?
Why did it happen?
Exactly.
That's the big one.
Does Dealey Plaza Echo have anything to say about that?
Well, not like a straight answer,
Okay.
but they do look at Jack Ruby.
Oh, okay.
And why he might have killed Oswald. Like, they go into his background, his connections to the mob.
Right, right.
And then they bring up this...
Right.
his possible connections to law enforcement and intelligence agencies.
Hold on, what?
Yeah, it's like, was he more than just a...
like a lone nut?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And there are all these stories about him acting strange before the shooting.
Really?
Yeah, like making weird phone calls. Even like worrying about Oswald's safety.
That doesn't make sense.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like he was trying to protect him.
But then he killed him.
Yeah.
Man, it's like you can't make this stuff up.
Right. And this is why I like Dealey Plaza Echo. They aren't afraid to show all the messiness of it all.
Not just the clean version of the story.
Oh, exactly.
Man, my head is spinning.
I know it's a lot.
But it's also, like, so fascinating.
It is.
I feel like we've barely scratched the surface of this, and it's just one issue.
Yeah, imagine how much more there is to find.
Wow, so much to think about.
It's a lot. And it's important to remember, we're just looking at one perspective here.
Right, Dealey Plaza Echo's perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not saying they have all the answers.
No, but they're giving us a lot to think about.
Yeah, they really are.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of stuff.
The bags, Hargis, the rifle, and now this whole Ruby thing.
Yeah, but there's one more thing I think we should mention.
Okay, what is it?
It's about Frenchie again.
The tramp.
Yeah.
Okay.
So remember how we were saying he might have been like an Oswald double?
To confuse people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Dealey Plaza Echo suggests that there might have been multiple Oswald doubles.
Whoa, wait. Multiple? Like walking around Dallas?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
But what makes them say that?
Well, there's this one witness who says she saw Frenchie at Jack Ruby's club.
The Carousel Club.
Yeah, before the assassination.
Okay.
And he was using a different name.
Like an alias.
Yeah, like Roberto Luzman or something like that.
So he was pretending to be Oswald and using a fake name.
It seems that way.
Okay, that's a lot to process.
It is. It sounds like something out of a movie, right?
It really does.
But, you know, this whole case is like that.
Yeah, you never know what's real and what's not.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it so fascinating.
And so frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just want to know the truth.
Hmm.
But it's like every time you think you're getting close.
Another weird thing pops up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
The 3 tramps, the paper bags, Officer Hargis changing his story, the rifle maybe not being the rifle,
Oh, Ruby.
Ruby being connected to, like, everyone.
Yeah.
And now multiple Oswald doubles
And this is all just from one issue.
of Dealey Plaza Echo. I can't wait to see what else they've found.
Me neither.
Well, that's it for this part of our deep dive.
Okay.
But we'll be back soon to finish up this issue of Dealey Plaza Echo.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're back, and there's still so much to unpack.
Oh, yeah. This issue of Dealey Plaza Echo, it really digs deep.
It does, and I keep coming back
How
to
about you?
how much they emphasize going back to the source material.
The primary sources.
Yeah, like, don't just take someone's word for it. Go
See for yourself. What was
Absolutely.
actually said, what was actually done.
And they do that really well with Oswald's escape route,
Oh, right.
you know, after the shooting.
Yeah, running down the stairs from the book depository.
Right, and like everyone says he just ran right past a cop and a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
But Dealey Plaza Echo points out
Right.
that both of those guys
Yeah.
said Oswald didn't have anything in his hands.
No rifle.
Nope.
Wow.
So like, how'd he stash it that fast?
Yeah, where'd it go?
Nobody knows.
It doesn't make sense
It doesn't.
with what they saw.
Yeah, it's like another example of
Not
it
the story we've been told.
doesn't quite match up.
Like what people actually said.
Exactly. So, okay, we've got all this weird stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. The tramps, the bags, Oswald's escape route, Ruby.
My head is spinning.
It's a lot, I know.
It really is. It's like
Yeah.
we've fallen down the rabbit hole.
We kind of have.
But it's important to remember that Dealey Plaza Echo isn't...
We're trying to be sensational.
Yeah, it's not like a conspiracy theory magazine.
Right. They're just
presenting the facts.
Yeah, and encouraging us to
Think for ourselves.
Exactly.
And for me,
Yeah.
the biggest question is still,
But why?
why? Why was Kennedy killed?
Mm-hmm. It always comes back to that, doesn't it?
It does.
Does Dealey Plaza Echo have any theories?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
But they do talk about Jack Ruby again.
Okay.
And they really go into his possible motive.
Like why he might have killed Oswald.
Yeah, and you know, everyone always says he was just
Some heartbroken guy.
yeah, avenging Kennedy.
Mhm.
But Dealey Plaza Echo brings up Ruby's connections to the mob
Right, we talked about that.
and to law enforcement.
And intelligence agencies.
Yeah, so it's like,
What's he working for someone?
was he a pawn or something?
It makes you wonder.
It does. And then
Yeah.
there's all this stuff about how he was acting before the shooting,
Oh, right, like he was
like nervous or something.
yeah, and worried about Oswald.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's really weird.
It really is.
But that's what makes this case
So fascinating.
so compelling.
You never know what's going to come up next.
And it makes you want to keep digging.
It really does. And this is just one issue.
Of Dealey Plaza Echo.
I mean,
I can't wait to see what else they've found.
I know. It's amazing how much they pack into.
It's just one issue?
And it's all well researched.
Yeah. They're not just throwing out random ideas.
No, they have sources. They have evidence.
It's really impressive.
It is.
So to wrap things up,
Okay.
we've gone through a lot today.
We have
The three tramps, the paper bags,
Yes.
Officer Hargis.
Oswald's escape.
Yeah. The rifle, Jack
Yeah.
Ruby.
Lots of twists and turns.
And I think the biggest takeaway for me
Yeah.
is that we have to keep asking questions.
Never stop questioning.
Exactly, because the easy answer,
Might not be the right answer.
in this case,
The JFK assassination.
it's a perfect example of that.
It really is.
So thank you for joining us on this deep dive
Well, of course.
into Dealey Plaza Echo.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It has, and remember, we're just scratching the surface here.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much more to explore.
so much more.
So keep digging, keep
Just
researching.
an open mind.
Exactly.
Wow.
Because the truth is out there somewhere.
Somewhere.
We just have to find it.
We do.
Until next time.
See that?